Here's why I agree with RFK Jr. that municipalities across Canada, the US, worldwide, everywhere should not be fluoridating, should not be adding fluoride to their water supply. Okay. So the evidence in favor of fluoridation of water and the effectiveness of water fluoridization started in 1945. Now, at this time period, this is just when brushing your teeth was starting to become common. Before that, it existed, but it wasn't common. So at the time, dental hygiene was really bad. And it's true that fluoride immediately started solving that problem. But it's also true that the situation has changed a lot between 1945, 1950s, and today, 70 plus years later. Because today, brushing your teeth is very common. People brush their teeth with fluoridated toothpaste, and this makes a huge difference. So, well, initially, the fluoridation of water did have a big impact. If you look at later on, for example, in 1982 in Florianopolis in Brazil, they fluoridated their water and it did not have a big impact. However, when they started using toothpaste with fluoride, then that did change. So they fluoridated the water in 1982, and they looked at it in 1997. They looked at the impact on young students, and they found that still cavities were at a level of about 94%. But in 2002, after they introduced the fluoridated toothpaste, uh, cavities were found to be only 46%. And this mirrors research in the USA where, for example, in the 1970s, they found that adding fluoride reduced the number of decayed teeth by an average of 2.1. And then, however, studies conducted after that point found the benefit was much lower, including studies in UK and Australia at only 0.24 fewer decayed teeth. So there was a benefit, but it's marginal compared to the benefits before. There's also a lot of questions about the dangers of fluoride. For example, there was a study that was done on 512 mother-child pairs, pregnant mothers, across 6 different Canadian cities, and the results found that higher levels of fluoride in the water that pregnant women were consuming were associated with a 3 to 5 point lower IQ score in their 3 to 4 year old children. So this is quite concerning, obviously because of the potential damage to children, but also because pregnant mothers and fetuses are sort of a bird in the canary effect in that some of the things that might not be readily obvious in terms of toxicity with a full-grown human, you're going to see with a fetus because it's much more vulnerable. But that can still be causing problems in humans. It's just harder to detect because the impact is muted. And there's been a lot more research recently around fluoride and IQ, which shows that at levels of as low as 1.5 milligrams per liter, this this causes lower IQ. And and this level is not far off the common level that is in drinking water. I think they aim for 0.7. The EPA presently allows up to 4. So most of the world doesn't fluoridate, and uh, there's certainly no real connection between fluoridation and teeth health. If you look at, for example, if you look at this map of what countries have the lowest prevalence of cavities, red is highest and yellow is second highest. You see that Canada and the USA that routinely fluoridate. So this is a map of water fluoridation. The redder, the more fluoridated. And then if we look at, we go from that map to You see, the countries with the lowest amount of cavities don't fluoridate at all. Now, there's sort of an obvious connection there in that if a country had bad oral health in general, they might look for solutions, including water fluoridization. I'm not suggesting that fluoride causes cavities or anything like that, but simply that the cause of cavities is pretty obviously diet, uh, and it seems like people are sort of banking on, okay, we have this horrible diet with lots of sugars and refined carbs and just a bad diet in general, and it's causing a lot of cavities in our teeth. But then we have this solution of fluoride when it would be better to just eat a better diet in the first place, which would help with causing health problems aside from dental health problems. As I mentioned earlier, most countries, most people do not drink fluoridated water. In Germany, it's illegal to fluoridate the water as they view compulsory mass medication as an evil thing, which it is. It really doesn't make sense to medicate the entire population of a country. That's not how medicine works. Medicine is based on you diagnose a problem and then you consider a dose for that problem based on the physiology of the individual because their weight, their height, their age, all these things can impact the dose of the medicine. It makes absolutely no sense to put medicine in the water supply. That's what it is. This isn't something that nourishes you. It's specifically treatment for a disease or treatment for cavities. We know that fluoride is very dangerous, very toxic element. It also accumulates in your bones, leading to questions about uh, whether or not it contributes to bone cancer, to heart disease. Fluoride poisons animals. The fatal dosage is 5 to 10 milligrams per kilogram. It's also worth noting that there is a substantial difference between calcium fluoride and sodium fluoride. Calcium fluoride is the type that's found naturally in water that's good for your teeth. Sodium fluoride is a byproduct of aluminum manufacture. According to the European Food Safety Authority, they said, quote, overall, calcium fluoride being much less soluble and less bioavailable than any other soluble forms of fluoride can be considered less toxic. There's also concerns about fluoride accumulation from different sources. So, food that's grown with fluoridated water or cleaned with fluoridated water, it's going to accumulate fluoride. And so then, if you're drinking tap water and then eating the food, you're going to get fluoride from different sources, all sort of adds up. And because the fluoride is delivered through the water, there's no control based on, whether somebody's small or big. A big person might drink more water, thus gets exposed to more fluoride. If you're drinking tea or coffee, you're boiling the water, and the boiling makes the water go away, dissipate, but it doesn't with the fluoride. The fluoride, so you end up with like a higher concentration of fluoride after you boil water, which is why there's so much fluoride from tea. So, long story short, fluoridation of water, I don't support it. The evidence doesn't support it. There's a lot of danger uh, linked to not only loss of IQ, also other diseases, and it doesn't appear to really be doing anything that brushing your teeth with fluoridated toothpaste can't do. The benefits are more topical and systemic, and I think that people should stop fluoridating the water supply. Instead, you can have fluoridated salt, as they do in certain parts of Europe. Allow people to choose uh, whether they're getting fluoride that way or not. Fluoridated toothpaste does not make sense to put it in the water supply.